British Prime Minister David Cameron and Labour leader Ed Miliband arrive at polling station at their constituencies to vote in Britain's knife-edge general election.
I aim to form a proper and full coalition between the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats.
There's no easy way to say this. We made a pledge, we didn't stick to it, and for that I am sorry.
Miliband, on the other hand, confident of winning the election.
We're fighting for a Britain where we reward the hard work of every working person, not just those who get the six-figure bonuses in our country. We're fighting for a Britain where every young person, whatever their background, wherever they're from, has the chance to live a better life than their parents.
Ballot boxes were prepared and voting booths readied as polling stations across the United Kingdom opened their doors on Thursday morning for general election. Prime Minister David Cameron's Conservatives and Ed Miliband's opposition Labour Party have been neck and neck in opinion polls for months, indicating neither will win enough seats for an outright majority in the 650-seat parliament. This could lead to a formal coalition with smaller parties, or it could produce a fragile minority government, making trade-offs to guarantee support on key votes. Let's have a look at the main points of the campaign for the major players. Labour's campaign has focused on pledging to cut the deficit each year, raise income tax for the highest 1% of earners, and defending the interests of hard-pressed working families and the treasured but financially stretched National Health Service. The Conservatives portray themselves as a party of jobs and economic recovery, promising to reduce income tax for 30 million people while forcing through further spending cuts to eliminate a budget deficit still running at 5% of GDP. Cameron has promised to hold a referendum on whether to stay in or quit the European Union if he returns to power. UKIP's main focus has been on curbing immigration and getting Britain out of the European Union. And now let us see the possible scenarios that are possible if no party gets absolute majority. They will try to put together a deal to form a coalition, which was the case in the 2010 election, with Conservative leader David Cameron as Prime Minister and Nick Clegg from the Liberal Democrats as Deputy Prime Minister. A coalition is not the only option in a hung parliament. Party leaders could opt to go it alone and try to run a minority government. A government only has to show that it can command the confidence of the House of Commons. This means being able to gather enough votes to defeat any vote of no confidence called by the opposition. One party could decide to form a minority government, filling all the ministerial roles with its own MPs, but relying on votes from outside the party to pass any bills. According to BBC Poll of Polls, Conservatives are expected to win 34% of seats, while Labour to halt at 33% of seats. Other smaller parties who would play a major role like UKIP to get 13% of seats, Liberal Democrats 8% and Greens 5%, while others 7%.
I'm unconvinced that a coalition with a heavy SNP influence would be beneficial for England.
I think it would be easy if there was one majority party in power, but hopefully a coalition will still work.
For decades, Britain has seen Conservatives and Labours take turns in government. But that political status quo is crumbling as marginal parties look set to steal votes away from the established parties. The 2010 election saw the Conservatives form a coalition with the Liberal Democrats. Much of the 2015 election campaign has been focused on the prospect of power sharing. All eyes are now waiting for the results, which will be declared tomorrow. The biggest question is whether or not Britain will get a single ruling party. Bureau Report, DD News.